Sorry, y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Hey girl, hey. What's going on? It's your girl BondyBlue and I'm back. If you aren't a member, then you missed me talking about this yesterday because it was a members only live. That's right. Become a member of my channel, YouTube, Patreon, or my very own website, child. Pick one. Support the channel. Greatly appreciated. Members, with y'all. Thank you. But I talked about Iyanla. Okay, y'all know a girl has grown up with Iyanla and loves her some Iyanla. Also, if you are a member, you saw the Ooh Ladies First panel last night. Don't worry. If you're not a member, you'll be able to see the Ooh Ladies First panel tonight on Niecy Dixon's channel per usual. Okay? But we had to tape a day early. And, you know, whenever we have stuff like that going on or interviews, we like to make it members exclusive. So that's what we did. But it will be released to everybody this evening. Okay? So don't fret none. But we talked about this a little bit. And in our discussion, it was brought up how, honestly, it seems as if Iyanla has changed how she has felt about things, or she's trolling everybody. We're not sure exactly which one it is just yet. But it feels like she might be trolling people. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have ever read a Iyanla book or listen to what her background actually is in, and a lot of it is African spirituality. And in a lot of African spirituality, not all, but in a lot of it, it is matriarchal, meaning women have authority in the spiritual practice. Okay? So that is how I know that Iyanla as a woman has never really been here for gender roles. In a lot of her relationships, Miss Iyanla has been the breadwinner or has been resented by a man for being said breadwinner. So I know that the old lady under the tree, that is Iyanla Vanzant, is not getting up here telling Eboni K. Williams that she needs to go and date a bus driver. As an attorney, as someone that is a public figure, you're not telling her to Tyler Perry play her life, right? You're just saying that in general, women should pay closer attention to a person's, you know, mindset, their heart, how they actually are as a person versus how much money they make. And I feel like we understand that because for what I understand as the bulk of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, as long as we've been here, we have been holding black men down. And this conversation didn't even really start about black men. She said bus driver. That could be anybody. I've seen plenty of white bus driver. So this is not a color thing at the end of the day. This is about class. This is about education. This is about being equally yoked. And at the end of the day, if y'all want to act like the people in our community don't love to tell people that their mediocrity is just fine. They do. Now they give out participation awards when really it used to be first, second, third. Okay? Now y'all want people to be excited over niggas doing the bare minimum. Y'all want us to hold them down. My issue with this, because that was cool in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and the 90s. That was cool because we all were not that far away from civil rights. We were not that far away from how hard it was for some black men to get jobs. Right? But it is 2023. It is 2023. I want to remind everybody, it's not 1997. It's not 2003. It's not 2013. It's 2023. And in 2023, Eboni K. Williams, as a lawyer, would never run into a bus driver. You know why? She's not on the bus. One thing Tyler Perry had right is that in Medea's family reunion, which I will be reviewing in a like maybe 2 or 3 episodes. Okay, give me 2 or 3 now that we're grown, because I need to do Sparkle, and then I want to do Disappearing Acts, and then I'm going to circle back around to Tyler, and we're going to do Medea's family reunion, child. But the lady was driving the bus. I mean, was on the bus. You know what I'm saying? She was on the bus. She was riding the bus. That's why it was okay for her to be with the bus driver. Okay? Okay. Gabrielle Union was supposed to smash Idris Elba and Daddy's Little Girls. Yeah, she was supposed to smash him. Might even help him with the legalities of the situation, because that was a messed up situation and them little girls needed to be with their daddy, so you help them out. But if he can't rise to the occasion of what you need to happen in an amount of time of dating and courtship, then you don't marry niggas who not on your tax bracket. No, you don't. You don't, because they resent you for it. Okay? They get mad at you, and then y'all have this relationship where you supposed to lie to everybody, or you supposed to pump fake, give them the money before y'all go to dinner or something like that. Like act like you not the one that's paying for shit to make him feel better. Ain't that what Carlos told y'all? Ain't that what Carlos said? Mel got on, like, let's not pretend like you wasn't talking about Mel. Women get to a certain level, and then they just, they emasculate their men, right? So you can't be emasculated if we on the same level. See what I'm saying? That's why we don't even want to deal with that type of shit. Okay? Eboni K. Williams should be with somebody that is a doctor, a lawyer, a real good accountant, a CPA, somebody that's in the industry or is on the same level as her. Bitch, if you on the bus, dating or marrying the bus driver is a win. It's a win. Now, I'm not telling y'all that I don't feel like you can't build with people. I've been with my husband since I was 21 years old. We have built. Okay? But at 21 and 23, when we decided to start our relationship together, we were both college-educated black people with our own places to stay, with our own cars and jobs. Do you see how there was a criteria for me? Do you see how there was a list of things he needed to check off, and those list of things were the same things I was coming to the table with? Iyanla, child, my loving mother. And a lot of these older women, y'all still think that we living in the 70s and in the 80s where we're just coming off of like civil rights era shit, and black men is out here having a hard time at it. When at the end of the day, is everybody forgetting that black women went through the same shit? That's a part of this conversation that they be having that really annoys me. Black women have had to go through some of the same shit that black men have had to go through. So when we talk about, when Eboni K. Williams brings up how black women or women in general are making more money, are more educated, it speaks to the discipline. That's what we're talking about. That's what we really trying to be honest and talk about. And we're going to get into this DJ Envy situation because, baby, I have a few choice words for DJ Envy that was extremely in his feelings for a nigga that ain't driving nobody's bus. Somebody that don't want their children to be in public school is sitting up here chastising a grown-ass woman because she doesn't want to date a bus driver. Bitch, y'all got me out y'all got me fucked up. Because to me, the thing that Eboni did not say one time that she should have said is, okay, so do you want me, are you upset with me because I don't want to date a bus driver? Because let's be real. Everybody, the issue that we have right now, one of which people don't like to take care of their children and their responsibilities in the community. They don't like to add to the community. They don't like to be responsible for children that aren't theirs. Therefore, they don't do shit in the community. You understand what I mean? That's already an issue, right? Like, that's issue number one for me. Issue number two is social media and rap lifestyle and things of entertainment lifestyle making Black people feel like they don't have as many options to make money as they do have, but it also makes them aspire for shit that is sometimes outside of their scope. We've been talking for years about men that want to be rappers, and you're never going to be a rapper. You should have went and been a fucking plumber. You should have went and got a regular job. And if you wanted to have more, you use your discipline and you use those regular jobs to get more. The women do it all the time. The women do it all the time. I went to school and I worked 2 jobs at the same time to get to 35 and getting up every day and doing whatever the fuck I want to do. It's a blessing, but I also worked really, really hard for a long time to get here. And a lot of people, I remember a lot of men, I remember when I was growing up, if you weren't in college, you weren't doing shit with your lives. Y'all weren't doing shit with y'all lives if you weren't in college. That's why my criteria meant you had to be in college. And not even just in college, I needed you to graduate. I needed you to finish the shit. It's about discipline. Because people who don't have discipline don't do shit. And they end up in mediocre jobs because they spent a lot of time procrastinating. Not doing what they were supposed to be doing with the time that they had. So when Eboni K. Williams at 39, 40 years old tells you I'm not dating a bus driver, we know that's not just about how much money somebody makes or if they're a mediocre person, because that's not true. Y'all, I know some amazing individuals that are not living up to their potential. Meaning that they can only have a certain placement in my purview, in my life, in my vision. You can only be put in a certain area because you have only shown yourself to be able to just be who you are, but not do anything beyond just being who you are. And you can be an exemplary person. But when it comes down to it, if you want to talk about being equally yoked, somebody like Eboni K. Williams has done more than just be exemplary. She's had to do exemplary shit. Because you could be a good person. You see what I'm saying? You could be a good person. You could be somebody that is, of use to the people around you in your family and all of that. You could be a good guy. But at the end of the day, if a woman has the mindset that she wants a certain type of life for herself, therefore she needs a certain type of partner, that's her business. That's her business. Like, we're not talking about the girl who doesn't have a job. Because to me, if we're talking to the girl that don't have a job, bitch, you need to be happy for whatever the nigga got going on, because you don't have nothing. That's a different conversation. But we're talking about somebody that is simply asking to be with a partner that has what they have. That's not a tough ask. And y'all are not going to keep browbeating Black women in public spaces because they refuse to limit what they want to coat your fucking feelings. So now that I've prefaced this with how I feel about it, you can decide whether you want to stay here or you want to go. But if you're going to stay, I'm going to need for you to like the video. All right, go ahead and do that for me. Because it's 500 of y'all in here and only 180 or some of y'all, that didn't like the video. I feel like it's disrespectful because we're going to talk about more than just this. Okay? We're going to talk about Brian McKnight when I finish this as well. Okay? Hold up. Hold up. Eboni tries to do social commentary on a personal question. Her preferences are hers. Once she started generalizing about mediocrity, that's where some people lost her. And you know what? People love getting in their feelings about the truth of a situation, but what she said was not wrong. How many times have we talked about we need y'all to go do other shit besides just wanting to do the same couple of jobs and shit. Y'all, a lot of black dudes and shit, like y'all really don't be trying to build shit. Like, and that's what we're talking about. You want to talk, like, let's talk about it. You do want to just be an employee. You really don't want to build anything. You do a lot of talking and not a lot of action. And now y'all want to essentially browbeat Eboni for saying that she feel like black people should be focusing on being more aspirational versus being in a space of accepting what's been given to you, which is do these menial jobs. And there's nothing wrong with menial jobs. We want y'all to be okay with those things. But we also want y'all to be okay with just being regular. I need y'all to just be okay with being regular. Some of us are just regular and ain't nothing wrong with it. I remember how mad people used to get with me when I would say a regular black girl, as if that was a bad thing. And what I meant is a black girl that ain't got no extra shit going on with the ethnicity. She just black, she American. Or she might just be black, she might just be British. She, but it's just black. It's two black parents, baby. It don't matter with the nationality. It just means two black parents. It means it ain't mixed with nothing. Okay? Regular black. Okay? That's what we meant by it. Everybody wanted to be offended. What you offended for? I'm a regular black girl. I got two black parents. What's wrong with y'all? Why we gotta be mad when somebody say the truth of a matter just because y'all have become so fucking sensitive in this society that you can't deal with the mediocrity and the regularness that be going on? I got a regular life, my nigga. It's not bad. It's not bad to have a regular life. I would never call myself mediocre because I'm just not. But it's also a catch-22. Me not being mediocre has more to do with my discipline and the trauma of having very, very tough black parents that told me that your C's and D's are not good enough. And you need to be making A's and B's. That was what, when she was talking about that, I was like, why are y'all mad about the shit that made us successful? Like, those are the mindsets that we grew up with in my community where I was growing up, that just because you can sometimes not do as well does not mean we should be out here like, it's okay that you didn't do that good. Just do the best you can. No, you need to be doing everything you can do to do better, because that's the only way you gonna make it in this society, especially as a black person. Y'all have now decided that we don't need to implore that on people anymore. And so now that everybody just wants to be, accepting of any old thing, just accept. It's a whole bunch of shit going on, y'all. It's a whole bunch of shit in this conversation. There's nothing wrong with being a bus driver, y'all. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Okay? There's nothing wrong with regular mediocre jobs. They pay bills. And if you somebody that have dreams and aspirations, those jobs pay for dreams and aspirations. And some people are just good with their regular jobs and they can be regular people. And I don't understand why that's a bad thing. But I feel like it's mediocre as fuck for anybody to expect Eboni K. Williams to date a bus driver simply because she's a black woman. Because that's what Iyanla was saying. Iyanla was like, we're not being real with ourselves about where black people are. That's basically what she was saying. Like, because most black men aren't doing as well, we have to be okay with them not doing as well. And to me, the coddling is the problem. And to me, that's coddling. And I think that Iyanla was trolling so that she could make a splash on social media, first of all. I think Eboni, did what most of us in this day and age of Ebony's age range would have done, which is said, nah, I'm not dating no bus driver just to prove that, you know, I don't have superficial, a superficial outlook on life. No, it's not about superficial. It's about, are you doing the same amount of work to succeed in your life as I'm doing to succeed in mine? That's it. That's it. And sometimes, y'all, if you have a man that is like that and they go through a hard time, you got to pull them up. You do. You absolutely, if you love them and they're worth being pulled up, you got to pull them up when they're going through it and show them that it'll be okay. You do. But guess what? If you do it for somebody that's halfway decent, they'll do it for your ass when you're struggling. That's the whole partnership thing. So it's not really supposed to be about only what a person offers you. That's not what it is. But why don't y'all have these conversations with white women about what they should want? Are y'all having conversations with white women about what they should be accepting from men? Because that's what this conversation really is about. Y'all can act like it's about her saying that being a bus driver is mediocre and now y'all want to be offended by that. But you know a bus driving job is probably not making a lot of money and damn sure not making the amount of money that Ebony's making. Come on, bro. Let's not do this. I hate when y'all want to get in y'all fucking feelings about shit that don't matter, but the stuff that really do matter, y'all want to ignore and act like it don't matter. But let's go ahead, because honestly, I've been talking for 20 minutes and I'm still mad. So let's go ahead.
Offering.
Hold up. Because we got to hear it. We ain't going to see it because we going to hear it.
To Black Americans for us to have a first-class existence. So when I talk about a permanent Black underclass, that's something that I talked about in the response video that Weezy cited. A lot of people felt a way about that. What the fuck does she mean, a permanent Black underclass? What I mean is the data. So I sent Charlamagne a bar graph from the U.S. Census yesterday. And it listed about 15 different global identities. So again, you got to zoom out for this. This is not about Black folks and white folks in America. This is global. At the top of that, y'all, this is earnings. Indian Americans earn more than anybody else in America. At the very bottom, Black Americans. It's like they were earning about $100,000 per year per average. Not a few, not half. 100% of their average is $100,000.
I want to point out that DJ Envy's body language while this woman is explaining how she feels, explaining the data, explaining why she feels the way she feels, his body language is disrespectful to me. So at this point, you're showing me that it doesn't matter what I say, you have a problem with what I've said. And the issue I have with DJ Envy is, nigga, you are not a bus driver. Why are you this fucking mad? Talk to me, somebody.
During COVID, that Black folks were on ventilators more often during COVID. And part of the reason why that was the case, y'all, is because we over-index in the blue-collar working sector, in the essential jobs. And many of us don't have the option that we all had, which was to do our jobs virtually. So we are on the front lines in a way that disproportionately makes us vulnerable. We're dying because of it. That is my issue. Not to disrespect these people.
I feel like you're changing the goalposts, right? What people were upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true. People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection.
She did not say that though. And what we need to deal in is what was said versus how you feel. And I can't, y'all, when I tell y'all, I have been saying, hold on, let me bring, because I'm overmodulated. I'm sorry, y'all. I have been saying for the longest that I feel like men in this community want Black women to be accountable for everybody's fucking feelings. And Black women are asking for y'all to physically produce. Provide something, give provision, do what is required in a community for a community to sustain and to flourish, not just stay in survival mode the way most of us are. And the thing that really pisses me off about Envy is I can literally remember being so aggravated with him when they had a conversation about private schools versus public schools. Because to me, I was like, well, this is the issue. As you know, public schools are in essence owned by the state and those things. But I do feel like you can put money into those schools if you went to those schools. Okay? Like in college, you have alma maters and people add money to the funding for the schools. So I didn't understand why, in his mind, if you're really trying to build up your community where you're from, if you get money, why do you not go back to that community to reinvest in it to make it better? Why don't you do that, Envy? I remember being mad at him when he felt like it was better for him to put his children in a private school. So it's very funny to me that you want to buck on behalf of the middle class society, that you basically said fuck when you went and got your money and then moved to first class. So why is it that with this black woman, you're deciding to stand on this fucking soapbox for the middle class? And that's not even the middle class, y'all. We're talking about, really, this is lower class, because people that work these jobs, no disrespect, but like, that's lower class. That's a tax bracket, y'all. It's a tax bracket. It's not about a person's integrity. We all know that there are good people that are extremely poor. We know this. Nobody is speaking on somebody's actual personhood in the situation. But if you're giving me a criteria off rip, no, I'm not lowering my criteria to make you feel better. But let's continue on.
No, that's a projection.
I'll let you finish.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So when you start talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did, because I wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about, and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this, and the black man this, and the white supremacy this, and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote act.
To be clear, y'all, she was responding to the 50,000 comments that were in the comments under the original video. So to be clear, her original comment was about who she would date personally. People then went into the comments and made it about black people and class, when really she was saying, I've dated people, white, black, Asian, and different, everybody. I've dated everybody, and my feeling still remains the same. I'm not lowering my bar for anybody. The people in the comments took it to the whole generalization situation, and she commented on the generalization. And I think what she noticed in the comments are how many of y'all that are always promoting and coddling the community with this, your less is good enough. Because a lot of people don't try that hard, and you tell them that they don't have to. I had an uncle, y'all, I will never forget this shit. My uncle told my cousin, school is not for everybody. My cousin wasn't even out of middle school yet when he told him that. So when you gave him the okay to not focus on school, and he doesn't focus on school, and his life turns into in and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail, I can't help but to think that your low expectations for him is what set him up to have low expectations for himself. So I'm sorry, but I understand where Eboni is coming from with the way the black community loves to humble people. And in the humbling, it's teaching that you don't have to be any better. You don't have to do any better. You can just be wherever you want to be, and it's just fine. And guess what? That is just fine for you. For you. But that shouldn't be the standard for such smart, intelligent, just the black excellence and all of that y'all speak of.
Average job, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? One of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lifting the brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you're uplifting and how much you're going for black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for?
Well, first of all,
Paging Dr. Umar, damn.
Let's address it. And let's not skip a beat. Mm-hmm. So I would love to know how you, Envy, know what I'm looking for. We never had the conversation.
I'm telling you what people are saying on comments, what I've read, and I'm talking for them. I'm not a bus driver. I'm speaking for the average person out there, because I feel for them, because the bus drivers and the average person are what keeps these lights on here on the Breakfast Club. Right. They keep me.
And what does that have to do with who Eboni K. Williams is dating?
Nobody is saying, first of all, this is not about you booking shows.
This is about how I feel. So when you shit on the people that ride with me,
you're saying I'm not gonna date somebody that's below my expectation level. Do y'all see how they're doing? Do y'all see how they gaslighting her?
That's wrong for framing it as me shitting on them.
You don't think I'm
First of
shitting
all,
on them?
I know it. First of all, I know it wasn't. I think what you're saying
Have
right
you
now
read the
is
comments of how people
irresponsible.
feel?
I think
It
what you're
is.
saying
You
is
understand
irresponsible.
people?
It is irresponsible. It is irresponsible because what you're telling people is that bus drivers and people that have regular jobs and live regular lives, that's not okay. That's to be shat on. That's not what she said. That's not what she said. But when you put that insinuation on it, when you say that out loud that that's what she meant when that's not what she meant, that's the energy you give. And you know that's because that's how you feel. I don't give a fuck what your daddy did, Envy. You felt like the nigga was mediocre because you decided to do better, didn't you? You felt like what he did wasn't enough. So what did you decide to do? Do better. Cut it the fuck out.
Feel, do you listen
Envy,
to the polls, how people
I
feel?
think what you are framing right now in this moment is highly irresponsible. Because if you listen, I'm going to tell you. Because if you were to listen to all of the full Iyanla interview, the full sidebar, the full episode of Holding Court, nowhere in any of that commentary did I say a cross or negative word about the working class of Black America, of America broadly, or Black men. I'm going to get to the why was my fiance. Envy, let me finish this statement.
You know
I'm
people
going
feel.
to get to.
Just because
but
you
I
didn't
don't
mean to
deal
hurt
in
somebody,
feelings.
just
First
because
of
you
all,
didn't
I
mean to
don't
affect
deal.
somebody doesn't mean you didn't hurt a community.
And guess what? And when he said that I hurt the community, I would have been like, fuck the community. That's what I would have been like. For everybody that want to, guess what? Fuck your feelings. Because you're not going to browbeat me. You're not going to browbeat me into lowering my expectations for the community's hurt feelings. Because I saw a lot of women that was like, girl, my bus driver husband makes good money and does da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, ma'am. And that's great. And that's good for you. You probably don't make as much money to him, or you probably make the same amount of money as him. But y'all are equally yoked. So yes, that is absolutely great for you.
I don't
can say
deal in
anything about somebody,
feelings.
but like, I didn't mean to hurt you. But if you hurt people, you hurt people. If people feel a way about you, they feel a way about you because those people that you talked about are the people that buy your books, that listen to the show, and they're hurt.
Listen,
And to me, he's adding something to what she said that she did not say in this moment. And I can absolutely feel her exasperation in this moment. Like her taking the deep breath. I was like, girl, take a deep breath for both of us. Because this is absolutely working my nerves. Because he is really upset. Like he is not the man that you're in the 5%. You're in the 5%. Cut it out.
And what about words like
No,
average,
I'm gonna get to-
mediocrity, typical, and the bigotry of low expectations? I think those are
That
the words
hurts
that hurt
people.
working
You can
class.
sit here and say, no, I didn't hurt nobody. You hurt people out there that buy your books and follow you and support you.
You asked me
But
to be
also, the
quiet.
shit
Y'all, please. Y'all asked me to be quiet. I listened to your full statement. I understand you
And now
have a
that you
feeling
talked for
about
22
it.
minutes and I spoke for
But
60
it's here,
seconds.
And here it is. Dion, I'm getting to that. Envy, this is upset for ratings. Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Talk a little.
I know, but I'm not saying- I just want to say
We got
second.
ours off already. Let
I
them
did.
talk.
I'm just returning what I said.
Go
But
ahead, go
don't
ahead.
act like I didn't let her speak. She spoke for 22
Absolutely.
minutes.
Go ahead,
Go
Ebony. Let her talk. Don't do that. Let her go. Go ahead.
What you mean she spoke for 22 minutes? This is her interview. What are you talking?
So, Envy, this is where we're different. My primary focus and goal when I do what I do in the world is not to protect feelings. I'm going to be candid with you. I understand, and it's clear from the energy that there is an emotional attack that you felt was on Black men, the working class, and Black America.
First of all, nobody say anything about Black men initially. Black men always want to have their feelings hurt because it be y'all. It be y'all. It be y'all. Y'all be the ones. Like, why are you mad? Do something about it then. Do something about it then. Do something. What you mad at us for?
I'm going to hold the space for the hurt feelings around that. But more than I care about hurt feelings, I care about providing my people with facts and information that say that the current way of life for the majority of Black Americans is not serving us. I'm going off of the data and the facts. That is, I am not okay, and I don't think it's okay, that the vast majority of Black Americans, again, overpopulate, disproportionately occupy spaces that are not ideal, that make us vulnerable. I talked about the COVID, that make us vulnerable to death, disease, maternal health, all the things that we are.
She started having to defend the Black portion of this. Because the truth is the truth. The facts are the facts. But essentially, this did not start out being about Black or white. At all. This just came out to Iyanla asking her, would she date a bus driver? And this lady saying if he owned the bus.
that y'all all talk about on this show every day. Now, if y'all are okay with the current positioning of Black America, that we are the lowest income, the lowest home ownership, the lowest educated group, then so be it. And let's just stop talking now and keep on going about our business. Ivy, I'm not okay with it. So that is why I said what I said about addressing the bigotry of low expectations. It's the bigotry of low expectations is the reason why I have to submit that Black men are now going to HBCUs and college and generally at half the rate of Black girls and women. I don't think that's okay.
Shouldn't we address the system that put us in these positions?
We are addressing the system, but first we have to name it.
No. Don't talk about the system, the system that put. No. Don't fucking do that. Because there are a lot of Black men that do what they're supposed to do. Not nearly as much as there should be. But let's be clear. When they talk about this system shit, it aggravates me because it seems to exclude Black women from the system of racism, as if we've been flying around without, unscathed. We've been flying around the country without any racial issues whatsoever, right? We've been unscathed by racism, right? That's why y'all call us aggressive. That's what Iyanla was saying in that interview, that Black women have become men in skirts, which I found so offensive. And as I said at the beginning of this video, I don't believe she truly believes that for a second, because that's a very Eurocentric mindset of looking at the genders. I personally feel like the way people feel about the way women are supposed to be, I think y'all feel like that's to children. Like, the definition of how y'all feel like women should be, I think that's for children. I don't think that's for adults. I don't. I think y'all don't want women to act like adults. Y'all want women to act like children that need to ask for permission to be. And I don't agree with that because I'm a fucking adult. I was already raised. We're not going to keep raising me as an adult.
Charlemagne, see, that's where people's feelings are getting hurt, is the fact that I am naming it. I am saying that it is not okay to bring C's and D's to your home and then expect to go on to higher education and acquire a higher skill set. And when you say that, that is hurtful to people, Envy. I'm acknowledging the pain. But somebody has got to start telling the truth.
He's sitting there like
some
this.
of y'all wonder why you get the political representation y'all get, because some folks would rather hear things that make them feel good than understand and hear the things that are the truth. So let's talk about that.
She's absolutely right.
Average, mediocre, and typical, because a lot of people felt a way about it. Well, I looked it up. I did the service of pulling it up out of Merriam-Webster. So this is not Ebony shitting on anybody, Envy. This is simply to say when you do something average, by definition, it is of typical value. It is normal and it is standard. When you are regular, normal, acceptable. When you are mediocre, that would have people real hot. It means ordinary, medium, commonplace, and moderate.
And bigotry, don't forget the bigotry of low expectations.
I'm going to get to that. That's an academic study. Okay, so those of you that think that's George W. Bush, don't do your reading. Don't do your reading.
I'm going to give you an example right quick, right fast. My dad was like, he was A's and B's, okay? And I'm not paying you for it either. You're doing it because you need to make good grades so that you can get into a good school, so that you can get a good job. That is the mind, so you can take care of yourself, so you can have a good life, so you can have a life better than the one I've given you. That is the point of that. So because my father did not believe in coddling any of his children, whether they were girls or boys, all of us are successful. And when I say successful, I mean everybody owns a business, everybody takes care of themselves financially, everybody takes care of their children. I have a brother and two sisters outside of myself. Everybody owns a business. Everybody is taking care of themselves. Everybody is educated in whatever they do. Everybody is constantly striving to do better, to continue to excel in whatever they are doing. My brother and both of my sisters, and y'all see me. Okay? So at the end of the day, it's about expectations. And when you have low expectations, you yield low-level results. And that goes into dating, raising children, and the mindset in our community. It's not always about our lack of access. Sometimes it's about our lack of discipline, determination.
But let's talk about those words, Charlemagne. Nothing in there says you ain't shit. Nothing in there says it's bad or low or beneath.
They've applied the negative connotation.
That's a projection, and I'm not going to stand for it. Because you need to be honest with the actual semantics in which we're talking about. So when you say regular, hardworking, everyday people, Charlemagne, that is rhetorically Not any different than me saying average, mediocre work.
I
Not the
disagree because
individual.
those words can be weaponized. Just like the word basic has been
Okay,
weaponized.
yeah,
I can call y'all basic. I can call y'all basic
But
bees.
that's
and
what
y'all
I'm saying.
be-
But there's a negative connotation.
You call me mediocre, I'm out the room.
But also,
See, I made a whole song. I don't want no
but
mediocre.
also, we've done that with the N word. We've done it with the word whore. There's negative connotations to a lot of words, and if someone calls it to you, I get that. But
We
even with
reclaimed the word whore.
I
You were
get it.
talking about something
no,
totally
But
different.
what I'm saying is,
Nobody is reclaiming
when she
average
brought
and
up-
mediocre.
Even when she brought up C's and
But you don't need to reclaim it because there's nothing wrong with it, is what we're saying. But the truth of it is that it's where it's at. It is where it's at. Okay? It is what it is. Moderate success is success. Absolutely true. The internet has really diminished our worldview, and the internet was intended to expand said view. This is absolutely right. I feel like I have a regular life. I don't think it's mediocre, but it's a regular life. Like, everybody else in this neighborhood lives in a house in this neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? That's regular at the end of the day. But was it regular, as a young black woman working as a journalist, a photojournalist? No, that wasn't regular. Was it, doing social media and turning it into an actual career? Was that regular when I started doing it? No, it wasn't. It's still kind of not. So, yeah, I'm going to be real about it. But I still feel like I have moderate success. And my moderate success is still good enough for me. So at the end of the day, everybody is measuring themselves based on somebody else's ruler. And you shouldn't be doing that because it's about you. Honestly, in this little house that needs all of this shit fixed on it, I have total and utter peace. Do you hear me? This is my shit. This is our shit. Okay? And inside of it, we've created happiness and peace. So it doesn't matter that it's mediocre or that it's regular like every other house on the block because it's my shit and it's good enough for me. You see what I'm saying? That's why there's nothing wrong with being regular or being mediocre. But also, don't be so fucking entitled to not understand where you are and have your expectations for yourself based on where you are. So you can't get mad at somebody who you recognize their expectations are higher than yours. Nothing wrong with that because there's levels to this shit. Ebony's expectations are higher for herself, therefore for her partner. And somebody that is in a regular job like that is not striving for what she's striving for. You see what I'm saying? That's why it won't work. But that doesn't mean anything's wrong with it.
D's in school, academically, a C says you're average.
That's exactly what it means.
I don't know
And people
why
have a
that's a problem
problem
being average.
because people
if you're
mandate
okay accepting
Mandy,
C's.
I'm going to
Because I
tell
don't
you.
think essential workers are average.
But don't be mad about her rebuttal because her rebuttal was to the ignorant people in the comments that started to attack her and tell her what she should want. And that's what everybody's forgetting. Her rebuttal was not just out of nowhere. There were people commenting, 55,000 comments.
I don't think
First of all,
essential
let
workers
me
are
finish this
I
statement
don't think
because
Uber
part
drivers,
of,
bus drivers, I don't think any of those people are average immediately.
I'm not saying that the people are average. So let's slow it
I don't
down.
think the job is average.
The job is average.
I don't
The
think so.
job is average by definition. It says that most
Yes.
people can do it per the skill set. It also speaks to the income it commands. It speaks to scarcity and demand.
So what
That's
are
what
you
we're
saying about
talking
people that are
about.
holding college degrees that have to drive Uber right now because
They're
they can't
doing
get-
mediocre work. So Weezy, let me be very clear as to what I'm not saying. No, y'all got to listen.
And a lot of people don't want to do mediocre work. And honestly, I feel like that makes you mediocre in some respect. When I quit my job at the news station and I just started doing YouTube as my sole income, I was ready to go and work at fucking Walmart before I lost this house. Bitch, I was going to hide at Walmart before I lost this house. Do you understand me? That mindset alone makes me not mediocre, but the job is. You see what I'm saying?
Listen to this. I am not saying that a piece of paper makes you a more valuable individual. I didn't say that. I don't believe that. I prove it to you. I let a lawyer go because when I was ready to go, where I was trying to go and vacation with him, sir, your particular way of practicing law did not allow provision and protection.
But I think what's the real question is if C's and D's aren't good enough, and you're saying that
Do you
higher
think C's and D's
education.
are good
What I'm
enough?
saying.
Her rebuttal is her rebuttal. Nobody gets to dictate how somebody responds to 55,000 comments coming at your neck over who you gonna date.
Is you're saying a higher education also doesn't mean that, then what do they have to do to be excellent? Because
exceptional.
I'm someone who did have C's, B's, A's. I own 3 businesses. I'm sitting here with all y'all, and shit, we all make 7 figures. Maybe I'm on the lower end of this as a mediocre person. It's like,
You don't know what I make. I don't make that kind of money.
Why are you lying?
He probably makes 8.
Listen, you can't be talking about
Weezy,
so
but Weezy, did you hear about story about my mother? Weezy, she doesn't have a college degree. My grandfather didn't, but she never did it.
I did hear about
she
your
did.
mom.
Right, so she's not mediocre, not because, but when she drove that bus, she was doing mediocre work. We can call her up and she'll say that. And that is the frame.
But what do they have to do to surpass it then for you?
You have to do.
What do you mean? What do they have to do to surpass it? So now you're asking for Eboni to define for society what is better than mediocre? Give me a fucking break. Who's this?
So, not for me.
Who's this
But
shit?
for the
Standards,
culture.
because if Charlamagne is saying it's not mediocre or average, and the people listening feel like they're not, by your
Okay, I
That's a
just
good
want to
question,
stand on it.
Eboni.
The people are lying to themselves. The people are lying to themselves. If you work a regular job, what the fuck? Everybody knows what a regular, mediocre and regular are the same thing.
I want people to stand on it. If you are a person, and we're talking about Black America, and you feel as if you have
Right, 7 figures doesn't make you a mediocre person, dumb. Exactly. That's why I'm like, what is she even talking about? You're now calling yourself mediocre just so you can humble yourself and make everybody else feel comfortable while stating that nobody in this room is mediocre. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, ma'am? I don't even know who that is.
maxed out your skill set, whether it's in the classroom or when you wake up in the morning and do
Wheezy from
whatever it is that you
Horrible
do.
Decision. Oh,
Then
okay.
God bless you, and I support and love you. I am talking to Black people that I know have a potential skill set that is untapped. So that's the difference between mediocre and exceptional. Not the piece of paper, not even the income. It's, are you complicit and complacent in what you are doing currently, or are you willing to go above and beyond and do the thing that most people won't do by definition? Weezy, that's where
Above and
exception
beyond
lies.
could be the nurse that drives Uber.
Exactly, but that's not mediocre, bitch. That's what she's saying, and that's what you're not
I'm sorry.
understanding.
I think that's why
Look,
I'm like,
my father was a military. He was a mechanic. He was a bus driver. He was a
So he
police
was
officer.
exceptional. Your father was exceptional.
My mother worked at Guardian Life Insurance. I'm the first person in my family to go to college, first person to graduate from college, and my parents put me through college. So I don't look at them as mediocre. I don't look at them as average. They are exceptional, and they did what they did to get their
What you
kids through
said
all
is
this
so
stuff.
different than what
And
I'm talking about.
I am the
It-
same
it
with
be-
them, and I am the
and
same.
that is
And
just not intellectually
and
honest,
the
what you're
difference is
doing.
what you said is, oh, you want to encourage and you want to do this. I do the same thing without putting people down.
I'm not putting...
Grandstanding, trying to make yourself seem better in this moment when you have in fact made many people feel bad when they come and interview you.
people down. I'm being very
I think
honest.
you are, and
Envy.
people have been saying, I don't think you're listening. Like, as much as you talk, you're not listening to what people
I'm
are saying.
listening. I'm not-
You're
She is listening. She is listening. But y'all are bullshitting. Y'all are changing what she's talking about. Like, oh, girl is sitting up there calling everybody in the room mediocre, even though everybody isn't, by definition of what Eboni was talking about originally. You're not a bus driver.
Bothered by that though.
You're
I'm not
because
going to
people
be
are hurt
shamed.
and they have opinions. Just like
I
you
am
have your
not go-
opinion, you can't talk over people and not let people talk.
But you also interrupting me,
I'm
Envy.
not. I was
Exactly.
talking to me. I let you speak. And then I
No,
just
no, you were talking over her at one point. You absolutely were.
started talking.
You got it.
I just started talking. I let you speak, and I waited for you to be quiet, and I started talking. You heard something that you didn't like, and you cut me off.
Because once you start being intellectually dishonest-
There we go. Now with that envy, go ahead. No, that's exactly what
let's keep it. Let's keep it.
No, but if
Because you are being
somebody
dishonest.
platform to speak, and I let you speak, then I speak. And you have to listen just like I listen. Just like with Weezy and Mandy, when they speak, I listen.
Now you're trying
doesn't
to
matter
tell
if you
her how to
agree or disagree. We can have a
communicate.
conversation, but
Okay.
we got to respect each other in this
I
conversation.
agree.
I think
And part of that
that
respect is
And you've been disrespectful. Your mannerisms have been disrespectful. The way you've handled her has been disrespectful. Your energy level has been aggressive. At the end of the day, Envy, you have been disrespectful this entire interview. How fucking dare you try to flip it and make it seem like now that she's defending herself, now she's not being respectful in this interview. Boy, are you crazy?
being honest.
Yeah,
And
I think the conversation is healthy. If you listen to the whole Iyanla interview, I get a better sense of what you're trying to say. But the doubling down is what threw me completely off.
What
Because
do you love about
it
it?
did sound like you was shitting on the working class.
I'm not shitting on the working class.
And if you weren't, I think you need to make that very clear.
Well, I've tried to make it clear with 3 different examples. I think y'all don't want to hear it. And that's okay, Envy. It's
Talk
okay.
about it.
It's like you said, it's okay to disagree. Okay? So we can argue semantics because that's really, at this point, this is an argument around semantics. This is not around intention. This is not around feelings. Because we talked about the data. We've gone to the dictionary to define the words. Now it is, I heard what you said, but this is how it made me feel.
So what is Eboni K. Williams trying to say?
I am saying plainly, Charlamagne, that I believe in maximizing skill sets for Black Americans. I believe in ownership, entrepreneurship, and multiple streams of income as a way tethered to our liberation as Black people who were brought here in chattel some 16, 19 year. And if that makes you feel a way, maybe it's time to do something about it. That's all. And many people are. So when Envy talks about this example of his father being in law enforcement and being a business owner and doing 3-4 things on top of that, that is nowhere near mediocrity. That is called exceptionalism. That is called a black man availing himself to his highest calling and skill set. He talks about his mother and what she did. That is not mediocrity. By the way, there's nothing wrong with mediocrity. By definition, it's not bad nor good. It's mediocre. It is typical and it is regular. But if you are looking for me, if anybody is looking for me to put out a permission slip for people that look like me and come from where I come from, which is the diaspora, around average is good enough, medium is okay, just do enough to get by, no, I'm not going to make that soft place for you to land.
Well, to Weezy's question, what is exceptional then?
It's very simple. Y'all keep acting like it's hard. Anything that goes above your minimum skill set. That's it. Whatever that is for you, that might be driving the Uber. Like I said, when my mother was driving the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school bus and working for UPS at night and putting herself through beauty school, all in a means to advance her skill set, so she could go do finger waves for 7 hours. And then when she realized, okay, I have a skill set on top of that, shout out to finger waves, okay? I don't want to stand on my feet doing finger waves 7 hours a day. I can do something different than that.
So
she
now
opened a child care facility.
Okay.
And then she opened another one, and then she bought tractor trailers, and then she had a fleet of trucks.
Did it bother you then when people brought up salary and money? Because
Yes.
you had a different point.
Yes, and that's
But
why I
you
said
did
in
that
the
in our
contact.
interview, though. You brought up salary. When you set the conversation, you talked about how
Along
women are
with
making
many
more
other
money than
things,
men,
and
how they're
ownership.
buying houses more than men.
And that's
So
ownership.
Yes.
you set that table.
Yeah, but
Yes,
you know,
and what that means is most of the time y'all are not maximizing your potential. Y'all, I know so many people that don't maximize their potential. They don't do as much as they could do. I know so many people that have amazing potential and never live up to it for whatever reason, okay? And there are some people that strive for that shit. That's always thinking about what's next. What's next? Just different levels. And that's okay. That's okay. We need people to work at all of these other. I need you to work at Walmart, bitch. I need you to work at McDonald's. Well, not McDonald's, not me. I need you to work at Rally's, okay? I need you to work at Target. I need you to work at the bank. I need you to work at, you know what I'm saying, the gas station, bitch. I need y'all to work at these places too. Okay? And when I was younger, I was working at grocery stores and civil district court. Okay? And at the news station. But I always was about what I was about, and my intentions were very specific. And I feel like I would only really want to be with somebody that had my same work ethic. You don't have to have my same vision, but you need to have my same work ethic. And that's what it's about. The work ethic. Are you going to continue to strive for better? Or are you going to be complacent with where you are? And if you at 40 years old is a bus driver, you're probably complacent where you are. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not where I'm at. So unless you striving to have what I have or better, then we don't have anything to talk about. And that's just on God. Like, let it be where it's at.
What she's saying too in terms of salary, she's saying multiple streams of income at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is why, okay, he's a bus driver. Your father did multiple things and owned properties.
No, he didn't do multiple things. He was a mechanic. He only did one thing at one time. He just worked
but then
overtime
owning
to make sure
property-
it was good. He didn't own no property.
Okay, well, working overtime to make sure you're good means exemplary, and continuing to do different things to make sure that you're making more money. Like, that's what we're talking about. It's the striving for more versus the complacency with where you are. And nothing is wrong with either of those things, but they fit in where they fit in. And the people that want what they want what they want. If you want somebody that's complacent, then be with somebody that's complacent. If you want to be with somebody that strive for more, then be with somebody who strive for more. There's nothing wrong with it either way. What's wrong is browbeating and trying to bully black women into submission with this bullshit.
But he's nothing. My pops he didn't invest. He doesn't know anything about the stock market. I'm the first person in my family to
That's
invest
what
in
you do.
anything.
Okay.
Correct. He doesn't know anything about it. But I would also say that a lot of people in our communities don't have the opportunities that a lot of people do.
And
They don't have
I don't think, Ebony, you're speaking enough to the disadvantages
they
that
don't
black
have the
people
advantages
face.
that
That put us in
they don't have the
your
ability
words,
to get
mediocre
jobs. They don't
jobs.
have those
Are women not black people?
ability. They don't have those abilities that a lot of my white neighbors now have.
In which to be
But
fair,
we're not talking about white people. We're not talking about white people. We're talking about the difference between women and men in the black community. And that's what y'all are ignoring right now. You want to fucking talk about how black people have, we don't have as much access as other people? Great. Understandable. But what I have recognized in my family is that when people go above and beyond to make sure that they kids are straight, their kids should then take what they had and then do better. And then everybody does better every time until we can create the generational comfort that everybody's trying to create for their families and for their lines and shit. That's what everybody's trying to do. But if you're with somebody that does not know or understand or have a mindset on how to build in 2023, that is not what Eboni K. Williams is on. And she shouldn't have to be made to be on that. And we also should not have such huge anger issues about being mediocre. Like, it's okay. You regular, she not.
I went to, shout out to Evans High School in Orlando, Florida. 98% black, especially when I graduated in 09. We had trades. So like literally it was a nursing program. It was cosmetology school. My mom believed in just going into the healthcare field, and then we had hospitality as another option. We're literally taught these are the jobs that are suitable for you as well at a very young age. I was about to go to be a CPA. Sure. I worked at a Big Four, worked at Goldman Sachs, worked at EY. Nice. Yeah. I was unfamiliar that those jobs and opportunities were available to me until I moved to New York City. Yeah. Coming from Orlando, I didn't know I could be an accountant.
This right here, Amethyst Simone, this right here. And in Super Chat, people, don't think I forgot. I'm going to search y'all and I'm going to do all of y'all at the same time. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate everybody Super Chatting. My birthday is this month, so all of the Cash App and Venmo, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. They are conflating issues because they can't directly argue Ebony's points. And that right there, and she knows she's arguing with people that aren't as smart as her. She's trying.
Or what Wall Street was in finance. And so I do agree to that standpoint that we're not even given the scope of what our opportunities can be.
Would those jobs be considered mediocre?
So I'm not even going to play this.
Look, you're just poking the bear now. You just poking.
But let's let Ebony say her last words and get whatever she has to get out without interrupting, because we have to go. We have to cut this up. No, we have to cut it up because it goes on.
No, understand. I will say this. To Envy's point of our people not knowing, I agree with you. Which is why I'm so incensed and I'm so committed to having this conversation. Right now, if y'all, you single family homeowners, if you need a tree cut from your yard, that truck that's gonna cut it down is not cranking for less than $5,000. Right. So we have to talk about those things. And so y'all can get stuck in mediocre and average and the terminology and your hurt feelings if you want to. I suggest you get out of those feelings and you start thinking about HVAC. You start thinking about heating and air. You start thinking about, what would it look like to be an electrician and own my own bed? And again, in ownership, not working for a salary job for somebody else unless that is your maximum skill set. So if you're somebody that says, hey, I don't want to take on the work, or I cannot take on the work of balancing the books and running the taxes and doing it. Got it, no problem. Then go do that.
So those aren't average jobs.
It's around your skill set. It's not about the job being average, it's your skill set. If you know that, if C and D, back to the academics, if that is your best, God bless you. I just know for a lot of us, that is the bigotry of low expectations. That is an academic social science study done by a man named Michael Gerber, okay?
And to her point, a lot of black people didn't realize they could be doctors and lawyers until the fucking Cosby Show came out. Do you hear me? Entertainment is usually what gives a lot of black people their viewpoint of what they can possibly acquire. So to her point, we know that that's true. Really, girl.
It's important that we have expectations for our black children that start at the top, to Mandy's point earlier. That says, I see the best in you. I expect the best in you. If you fall short of that, let's look at why that is, and then we go about the business of black collaboration.
You told one big lie today.
What was that?
You are an entertainer. Because to be honest with you, nothing you said in this moment was wrong, but the clip that you put out,
it was salacious on purpose.
There's no way, Ebony, because I believe you. I know you want better for us. I know that you're speaking from a place of honesty and love, but that clip was entertainment. And I think one can't exist without the other.
Listen,
then y'all need to be able to admit that DJ Envy and this whole inflammatory, ignorant ass conversation that y'all are having, gaslighting this lady, acting like y'all don't know what she's talking about, it's also for entertainment purposes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for letting us know that y'all are on bullshit.
I'm not saying I'm not entertaining. Yeah. You know, I can see, because of course that's a part of my personality. It's a part of the nature of the work. That's my whole career path. When you see what you're describing, is I'm taking deep intellectual capacity and I'm marrying it with personality and aesthetic packaging that is palatable for global consumption.
So basically, you kind of got to make them feel bad.
No, I don't have to make anybody feel bad. And y'all can stay on that. Y'all can take that to the grave.
For them to read, for them to want more.
My intention was never for anybody to feel bad. But to Envy's point, intention means nothing. If I step on your toe and I didn't mean to, your toe still hurts. So I'm not debating intention. Yeah. I'm saying it might have been painful. regardless of my intention.
But do
And yet, how we
something
move on
about
from
it.
Because again, I'm not preoccupied. I'm not going to not say what I believe and feel for the sake of feeling.
I want to say, how do you feel about the American dream? And what I mean by that is the American dream is the belief that anyone, regardless of where they were born or what class they were born into, can attain their own version of success in a society which upward mobility is possible.
But most of them don't obtain their own idea of success. They don't. They settle and then they become bitter because they did not strive for more. Or striving for more is too hard. It requires too much work. So they would rather do something that's easier, something that doesn't require as much work.
For everyone. So all of these jobs that we're talking about, that is those people's version of success.
Yeah.
That is their American dream. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with them
I think
having
you know
that?
the answer. Nothing, Charlamagne.
Okay.
Nothing. Like, come on, we're talking circularly to Envy's point. There's nothing wrong with that. I am simply, he said it, there are people that don't know what's possible. There are people that don't know, man, I would love to have a salon. What does that take? Well, let me start an LLC. Well, maybe I need to convert to an S corporation. Maybe I need to do this. And so when we are so caught up with feelings, and we don't want people to feel bad, we don't want to call out what people don't have access to or knowledge around, I think it's stagnant.
I think we all agree with that, and what Envy's saying, what everybody else is saying, is you can say all of that, and that's true, without calling people average, mediocre, typical,
that's what
or
it
telling
is.
them they're stuck in the low expectations.
No, I know
of
every more
bigotry.
educated than me. If Iyanla asked me that question, I'd say, well, what do you look like?
Well, that's fine, yeah. Again, Charlamagne,
I just don't think
that's
those
fine.
are the words that should be
And that's sad. And that's sad. And that's sad.
to describe the word.
And I think I think per the dictionary and per the facts. So again, we spent 40 minutes talking about something that's very simple, and unfortunate that this is really where we landed, Charlamagne, because we're talking about personal projections around defined words. That's really what this whole, and that's why
Absolutely.
You can weaponize defined
Absolutely.
defined
But I'm
words
not, but
to do
don't
that.
But now we're moving the goalpost again. You can weaponize words. Child, if you want to be hurt by regular, mediocre, typical, then be hurt by it, but do something about it. Don't just be yelling at the person that called it what it is.
that on me,
But
because I'm not
whether you
weaponizing
think you
it.
did or not, I told you I think you did.
Well, you can think whatever you want, Charlamagne.
And a lot of
I
other
know.
people did too.
I don't care what. It could be Jesus Christ thinking it. I know what I said. I know what I said.
Listen. Jesus Christ, you gotta
Well,
listen.
you listen, but
I
all I'm
think
telling you is,
I do appreciate the broader
You said you better listen to
conversation.
Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
we thank you for
I appreciate the platform. I
conversation.
really do. But let's be very careful that we are not so blindsided, stuck, and regressive in our feelings that we're not able to hear clearly the facts and the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, with y'all emotional ass Negroes. Oh my God. Make sure y'all like the video. And we're gonna come back and final thoughts on this, and then we're gonna move on to discussing Brian McKnight. Okay, so y'all like the video. All right. So let's read some of these super chats, girl. Super chat. Okay. Thank you, Sanivia, for the super chat. Sanivia, I hope I'm saying it right. Idris Elba's character didn't remain a mechanic in the movie. He opened his own shop and rose to her level in Daddy's Little Girl. Okay, talk about it. But they always want you to think that every man is going to do that. And there are a lot of them that aren't. And that's the trick. Jania Jennings, thank you so much for the super chat. I feel like you should be equally yoked with your partner. I only see the problem when you expect what you can't give. Okay, now about it. That's where I'm at with it. Samantha W, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. These fools on 10. If you now on my level, boy, bye. Ash Tuck, thank you for the super chat. Hey Bondi, I'm watching Disappearing Acts right now, and I'm like, yup, this why Ebony shouldn't date a bus driver, because Franklin is triggering me with his insecurities. Listen, I can't wait for us to do that one, okay? Like, me and Lyric was talking about it. We're gonna watch it again so I can make my notes. I'm gonna watch Sparkle tonight, and I'm gonna try to do Sparkle for y'all tomorrow or Saturday. It might be Saturday, and then Disappearing Acts will be on Monday. That's what I'm gonna try to do for y'all, okay? Just depending on how the week goes, cause I'm gonna get my hair done tomorrow, so that's the reason why I'm like, I don't know. But anyway, y'all, thank you for the super chat. We're gonna definitely be discussing Disappearing Acts for now that we're grown. Thank you for the super chat, DeQuasia. People want to use what they're not good at as a crutch instead of working on how to make your weakness into your strengths. Absolutely. It's really about how you think about things. And people sometimes get so bogged down on themselves with the negativity that they don't try to figure out how to work around. Thank you, Nia X, for the super chat. It's the gaslighting for me. Sammy Morgan, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Bondi, haven't caught a live in a while, just showing love. I was waiting on your response to this. Go in on Envy because he did way too much. You're absolutely right. Thank you. He did do way too much. I didn't like the energy of it at all. April, thank you for the super chat. Come on for the tip jar, tip jar, tip jar, tip jar. Okay, thank you, love. I appreciate that. Thank you, I am Diva Nicole. I have a whole learning disability that I was undiagnosed until my 30s because my parents pushed me to not let anything limit me. They're aggravating me with how they're treating her. Yes, I didn't like it at all. And I hate the fact that nobody was on her side in order to like help this conversation make sense, because I feel like everybody was there to play along with the bullshit, and I wouldn't have been playing along with the bullshit, because I would have been the one bringing up, so Envy, do you want your daughter to marry a bus driver? Are you gonna lie and say that? Are you gonna talk about why you didn't want to put money in the public schools and you rather send your children to private schools? Because that's the similar conversation, Mr. Regular degler schmegler. Goldburn, thank you for the super chat. This part is a huge disagreement I have with her. She sees ambition and drive as a way to liberate black people. That's an old conservative argument. No. Black capitalism cannot fix the capitalism that we live in. That's what I agree with. Meaning that making only a few black people rich is not going to fix the overall socioeconomic space between us and other ethnicities in this country, right? But based in the environment that we live in right now, why is it that the women are doing better in certain environments? Why is that? It's because they have more drive, right? That's what it's about. It's about the drive, okay? And this whole conversation stemmed from what was acceptable for Eboni to date. And then people started making comments about what was acceptable for her to date. And she had to let y'all know that she's not okay with y'all always promoting mediocrity, because black people do promote mediocrity a lot. To me, this is more of a conversation about the way mediocrity is promoted in order to make people feel better for what they could not get or did not have access to back in the day. Now you have access to it. So some of these same arguments, they're mute at this point. Now it's about, are you going to go and get it? Are you going to put in the work? Because like a long time ago, the circumstances were different. And I feel like people are still using the same arguments now that we're in different circumstances. And I do think there's an overall coddling that happens in this community. But I'll leave y'all alone. But I appreciate the super chat. I do. Thank you. Thank you, Samaria, for the super chat. I bet if DJ Envy daughter dated a bus driver, he would be livid. Goldburn, thank you for another super chat. Ever since emancipation, there have been conservative black people telling others to work hard. Working hard doesn't overturn the system. I can't agree. I don't think it does, but we're talking about personal responsibility in the system that we live in. There's a difference between, turning over the system, because we can't turn over this capitalist system by ourselves because we make up a small percentage. But we are looking at the fact that everybody is living in this capitalist society, not just black people, okay? Black people are not the only ones living in a capitalist society. It's not always just about color. It is about the mindset of the people. And I feel like that is what's being missing in this conversation. And the reason why I say that is because when I really look at it, when I look at everyday life, in real everyday life, growing up in New Orleans, the people that poured into their children, that told their children they could do whatever they wanted to do, that had their homes, had their good jobs, regular jobs, but good jobs, and they told their kids they could do whatever they wanted to do. Their kids grew up and may not have, done way better, but they do just as good or the same and still create the same amount of comfort for their children. A little bit better. You know what I'm saying? To me, that is ideal in this system, to be able to sustain life like everybody else, okay? And that's what a lot of black people do when they have determination and discipline. Like, I'm specifically thinking about my cousin that has always had his head in the clouds, but he knew he needed to finish school, always been very smart. Revolutionary type smart, okay? Always been smart, but had his head in the clouds. And for a long time in his 20s, he was just like wandering aimlessly. Now he's an EMT and a firefighter, and I have to say, it's the niggas calling. He's always been somebody that's supposed to save people's lives. He's so compassionate. He has such a big heart in that way. He has 3 beautiful children. He has his wife. So to me, like, I feel like I see how the positive reinforcement and telling people that they can do whatever they want to do and having certain expectations of them, no matter if they have times where they are lost, pushes them to try harder and to do more. And that's why I can't agree that there's anything wrong with telling somebody to work hard, because a lot of people really are not working hard. I'm just saying. But I do understand what you mean. I'm not talking about an overall system. You know what I'm saying? Like, us doing well doesn't overturn the overall system, but it does put us in a better place in the system in which we live in, because everybody still lives in this system. I'm just saying. Maya E, thank you for the super chat. People got fake outrage because they don't want to be accountable for the mediocrity. Blame black women for wanting more because expressive black women of other races do this all the time. Just subtle. Step up. Yeah, I agree. And you're never going to get what you want unless you put your foot down about it. That's just what it is. 2Ls, thank you for the super chat. Iyanla asked, move the goalpost with that stupid question because she didn't have an answer for Eboni. Iyanla was the one who denigrated bus drivers. Right, like, you wouldn't date a bus driver? And really, it all started because Iyanla was on the Breakfast Club and was talking about how black women are so aggressive and are men in skirts. And I don't agree with that shit either. I'm offended by it as well. Fuck y'all. It'll talk about how we've had to be. No, I don't want to hear that shit either. I do agree that there are women who are aggressive. There are some of y'all that really can take a tone down, bitch. There are some of y'all that can really take a chill pill. Y'all be doing a lot. But essentially, I feel like a lot of what is talked about to me and what I experience as a woman, what I experience men viewing as aggressive is women taking care of themselves. To me, y'all are less upset about a woman with an attitude. Y'all are more upset about a woman that you can't financially pigeonhole. And to me, that's where this whole argument comes into play. That you're mad that you can't use money as a way to control women into being with you. That's what it seems. This whole thing goes back to that for me. Okay? And that works on my nerves. Thank you, 2Ls, for the super chat. Hey, Cynthia. Thank you for the super chat. When Kevin Samuels called women average at best, they had no problem with it. But now that Eboni is telling the truth, saying someone is average is a problem. Oh, exactly. Thank you, Cynthia. That is an excellent point. When y'all told that lady she was average at best, everybody wanted to say it was the truth, and y'all just don't like harsh language. Now we keeping it a buck about the whole of the black community, which really includes the black men, because the black women have been going to college. The black women have been striving for higher education and to make more money and put themselves in a better financial space. I'm just saying, it ain't just us, but the majority is us. Okay? Just Ivy, thank you for the super chat. They would never tell a white woman this. No. Because white women don't live in that same space. Like Iyanla said, that was her whole point, that black women weren't being reasonable based on where we are in this society. White women are in the upper echelon in this society. So they should be able to expect more. We, however, can't expect more. And I feel like, motherfucker, if I can make something happen for myself, then I can expect what I have from my partner. I absolutely can. We are only mirrors of the people that we have relationships with. Sanivia, thank you so much for another super chat, for always saying my name right. Okay, no problem. Shit, now you got me worried about if I said it wrong that time. Thank you for the super chat. D Johnson, thank you for the super chat. Professional tailor for over 10 years and have dated individuals who make way less than me. It was the worst experience because I had to dumb down my lifestyle to make them feel okay with what I have. Yes. And that shit is exhausting. Thank you so much, D Johnson. Okay, yes, I'm on the road to 100K. Make sure y'all subscribe to my channel. If you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Okay. Thank you, Boom Shika 66 for the super chat. I knew I could come to your channel to hear someone talk with some sense. Girl, I was listening to this shit today. Like, if Envy don't get out of my face with this, okay? Like, it's crazy to me how you want to buck on behalf of bus drivers and you know, all of these blue collar workers, and that's not something you want for yourself or your family or your 15, 11 children that you over there having. You trying to build generational wealth. And all of the rich black people these days, that's all they talk about is building generational wealth. And they talk about that because we didn't have that. And we didn't have that because everybody was working menial jobs because that's what we were allowed to have. Well, now we can have more in 2023. And the women have figured that out and decided to go for that. A lot of the men, however, I feel like y'all psych yourselves out. I'm going to just keep it a buck. I think a lot of black men, they get swept up in how society sees them. They believe the lies that are being told about them. And they just go ahead and submit to it. They go ahead and submit to these ideas about themselves instead of striving for more. And it's not all black men, because y'all just heard me talk about my cousin. My husband is not like that. My daddy was not like that. But I do know other men in my environment that were like that. And the differences is very obvious to me. The differences are very obvious to me. Those that strive for better have better. Those that didn't, don't. And also some people are just lucky. That's another thing. Okay. Thank you, Nia X, for another super chat. Exactly. Iyanla explicitly said where we are as women, meaning black women, as in we should settle. And I'm going to tell you this. Iyanla is only saying that because her ass is old. Iyanla is old. Iyanla has made her money. So I feel like she doesn't need to be with a man who has money. She doesn't. She just needs a man that's going to come around there and, you know, give her a little pickle tickle, take her to the show, have a nice little lunch, and she sent him on about his way. But at this point, she ain't trying to build with nobody. However, I do think she feels there may be criteria that she wasn't thinking about because she was thinking about money at a certain point. So now it's like, if I would have, you know, wanted a man that had a little bit more emotional intelligence, that type of thing. Girl, listen, I'm all for money not being the deciding factor in a relationship, because I'm not going to be with somebody just because they have money if they don't treat me well. Like, that's not what I'm going to do, girl. I also feel like it is irresponsible and ignorant as fuck to act as if money and drive and the way a person moves about their life is not important when it comes to forming a family and trying to promote community and black excellence and all of this shit that y'all talk about. Like, be about it. Stop talking shit. Be about it. Okay, thank you, Christina Williams, for the super chat. I really appreciate this conversation today. After hearing Ebony's response today, plus your commentary, it changed my feelings about her initial post. Yeah, I really think she was just responding to the comments that people were saying when she did the response video. But initially, I found nothing wrong with what she said. Rose, thank you for the super chat. The city I live in, a bus driver is a 50K plus drive, which is unionized and comes with a pension. That's a good job, but I don't need a man to work. Okay, listen, that's good. That's a good job, but I don't need a man to work. You don't need a man to work? Girl, that's cute. I don't know what that's about. Thank you for the super chat. And everywhere. And listen, that's a nice living. That is a good regular job, girl. Ain't nothing wrong with a good regular job. Listen, I don't think nothing wrong with a good regular job with some good benefits, girl. Some good benefits, free dental, girl, what? It's everything. It's everything, okay? But ultimately, at the end of the day, this started out being about what Eboni wants. And Eboni probably makes more than 50K. So, no, thank you, sir. Elizabeth Home, thank you for the super chat, love. Thank you. Samantha, thank you for another super chat. Envy was hurt by her comment probably because he isn't on some women level whom he wanted. Yeah, they always be thinking about something specific when they letting off on a black woman about something. It's just real sad, girl. It's real sad. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the Brian McKnight of it all. One last cry before I leave it all behind. I gotta put you out of my mind for the very last time. 'Cause I'm living a lie. I guess I'm down to my last cry. Okay, he said those songs didn't mean shit. Okay, those songs didn't mean shit. Okay, right. Upper middle class means you have to be making 100K plus. Oh, that's cute. Look at us being upper middle with our broke asses. And we still broke, bitch. And we still broke. Y'all getting beat up by a fly. And we still broke, okay? Y'all, Brian McKnight is absolutely a narcissist, okay? Brian McKnight is absolutely a narcissist. Something is wrong with this Negro. And I have been saying that for a while now, Brian. Brian, I've been saying that something's wrong with you. Because I always felt like something was wrong with his Instagram bio, where he only states these children and not the original black children that he had. Because he was married back in the day, cheated on that wife and had a daughter and had 2 boys from his marriage. So he had 3 children prior to this set. And this nigga is back at 1, okay? Starting over like he ain't never had kids before. And we find it racial and disrespectful, okay? But there's been more to the story. It's resurfaced this past week for some reason. I don't know, because it's old news. But then a new story came out about the first daughter, Brianna, the one who originally made this bitch ass nigga a girl dad, okay? Rose, thank you for the super chat. I meant that I, as a woman, can work. I can drive a bus. This shouldn't be transactional. Thank you. And it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. But in order for women not to end up with homosexual niggas sleeping on their sofas and reaping benefits and shit, like, I reviewed 2 Can Play That Game. Y'all should go and watch my Now That We're Grown for 2 Can Play That Game. Because that's exactly what the fuck happened with Wendy Raquel Robinson and Bobby Brown. The lady had money. She didn't, prettified this nigga, fixed his teeth, made him look better, upgraded him and everything. And then he decided that he gonna leave her. Because he real careful with his heart. That's why you can't be doing stuff like that. You can't be making those types of sacrifices with people. They got to be equally yoked. Be on my level or push, be gone until you can get on my level. Okay? Or just be some over that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Be a slide. Okay? You can't be a main. Be a slide. Okay? That's really what I feel like, everybody got their job and their positioning. And a lot of times, slides be, okay? Slides. Just sliding through life. Air mattress mandingos. Yes, girl. Yes, Cynthia. Absolutely. There are some of y'all that are only for the dick. And that's okay. I just wish the women would put y'all in the dick box. Okay? You can have the dick. Just put a condom on it, okay? Have birth control. You know what I'm saying? Don't have babies for these niggas, okay? And find you something better that's going to actually give what's needed in a family and a community dynamic. But some of y'all are just for the dick. And that's it and that's all. Brian McKnight, I don't know what Brian McKnight is for because something's wrong with him. Let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure y'all like the video, okay? So, Brian McKnight probably won't be winning any parenting awards anytime soon, at least according to his estranged daughter. Y'all, I'm reading this from the Jasmine brand. According to court documents obtained by Radar Online, the lawsuit Brian McKnight's estranged daughter, Brianna McKnight, filed against him has been dismissed. In 2020, Brianna sued the singer for maliciously defaming her on social media. Brian McKnight was accused of publicly humiliating his daughter by claiming that as a minor she engaged in in a sexual relationship with an older cousin. In the suit, Brianna alleged her estranged father always had animosity toward her. Reportedly, Brian welcomed Brianna with a woman named Patricia Driver while he was married to his then wife, Julie. Brian and Julie shared 2 sons together, Nico and Brian McKnight Jr. In 2017, Brian moved on and tied the knot with his current wife, Leilani Malia Mendoza, who has 2 children from a previous relationship. In January, the couple welcomed their son, also named Brian. In the suit, Brianna criticized Brian for being there for his stepchildren while ignoring her and her biological brothers. Reportedly, in 2018, Brianna attempted to fix the relationship with her famous dad, but he refused to communicate with her. The following year, she revealed aspects of her perceptions of growing up with an unnamed absent father on her Instagram account. In part, Brianna wrote, and I quote, "Daddy's little girl was never really a thing for me. Nobody understands what I've been through except for my siblings. Believe it or not, I'm not always the person I seem to be. I'm not always happy. And most of the time, I'm battling my own demons just like everyone else. I grew up thinking that the things that happened to me and my dad's relationship was my fault. My father hasn't called to wish me a happy birthday in years. And yet I sit by the phone every single year hoping that one day his heart will change. I'm so fortunate that I have 2 brothers who are father figures to me, who celebrate me and love me every single day, and that we make up the time that we lost. The anger and the sadness that I hold in my heart every day over this is sickening." Y'all, that's some sad shit. In that post, she simply described her personal feelings as the daughter of an unnamed father who had withdrawn from her. However, despite not directly naming her dad in the Instagram post, Brian still responded to what she wrote, seemingly. The Back at One singer took to his own socials and shared, "Brianna was a promiscuous and incestuous minor," and thereby he hoped undermining Brianna's credibility regarding a post that did not even identify him. That is some sick ass shit. How could you, first of all, as a father, if she was in an incestuous relationship, that meant that you weren't there to protect her, because that's not something that a father should allow from a child, from a minor. My father wouldn't have allowed it. It would not have been seen, like promiscuous. What? That's something for you to say as her father? Out in public to other people? That's crazy for you to feel like that's okay for you to say. He added, "Unfortunately, along the way, a couple years ago, I caught wind that there was an older cousin who was above 18 who was quite possibly having sex with her." That means that she was assaulted, Brian. That means that somebody took advantage of her. That doesn't mean she was having a promiscuous, incestuous relationship. That means an older cousin was assaulting her. That's what that means. What kind of fucking father are you? Child, my pa would have went to jail. He also alleged to have called to the state office of children affairs there in Arizona, but said he never heard anything back. I don't believe him. Brianna's lawsuit denied her father's public accusations. Brianna had, you're Brian McKnight. You're Brian McKnight. And you can't call and check. What you mean you called? You're supposed to go down there and check on child. Never mind, I'm sorry. Brianna had never engaged in any sexual contact of any kind with any relative of any age while a minor or otherwise. Further, she said she doesn't believe anyone ever told Brian that claim. However, in February, Brianna and her dad agreed to dismiss the lawsuit before trial. Something wrong with him. Something wrong with him, Lord. That's how I feel. Something wrong with him. All right, let me read some of y'all comments. And I'm going to go ahead and get the hell up out of here, because I've been talking for way longer than I thought I would. Thank you, Nia X. So his daughter was an SA victim. Okay, got it. That's what it sounds like. She said that never happened. But if you are an SA victim, you may not categorize it as having sex, because that's not what happened. You didn't have sex. Someone did something to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if that's what she meant or not, but either way, that was not something for him to put out there, and that was not something for him to say. Y'all shout out to Capricorn Moon Goddess for her candles that she sent me. Girl, that damn candle smells so good. I need another candle. I'm gonna buy one though. But they smell so good. Y'all make sure y'all check out CapricornMoonGoddess.com. Her candles smell really, really good. Marriage has been transactional since it became a thing. I don't know why people act like it isn't. Marriage is absolutely transactional in a way of you take care of me, I take care of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you took care of me, now I'm taking care of you type of thing. Like, but it's supposed to be both people doing something for the other person. That's what it's supposed to be, girl. But Brian McKnight is trash. Brian McKnight is trash. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you go to his Instagram page, in his bio, because I had followed him back in the day and then I had to unfollow him because I felt like this is too messy for me. In his bio, he is musician. He is husband of Leilani. He is father of Julia, Jack, Cacao, Mateo, and Brian Kano Macau. It don't say Brianna. It don't say Brian McKnight. And it don't say Nico. And I feel like I don't care how you feel about your children. You don't not include them when you speak on who you're a father to. That's sick. And I just wonder when this family is going to get his ass to kiss. But if you look through his Instagram, it ain't nothing but pictures of him and her kids. Not one of his own that have his genetics. Despicable. Disgusting. That's why you never won a Grammy. I used to always wonder, why did Brian McKnight never win a Grammy? Because he used to make some of the most amazing power ballads. And this is why. Because you're a piece of shit. Anyway, all right. I'm done, y'all. I've said enough. I love you guys. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. And make sure y'all check out my Now That We're Grown playlist and get into those movie reviews from those good movies that we used to love as kids that we watch back now that we're grown and figure out they're so problematic. So I'm going to be doing Sparkle, the original, and I'm going to be doing Disappearing Acts, and Medea's Family Reunion will be the next 3. And I'm definitely going to be trying to get those out to y'all between today and next week, Friday. Okay, so I love you guys so much. Make sure y'all check out Niecy Dixon's channel for the Ooh Ladies First panel tonight. And I will see y'all in the next one. All right.